So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Dad here from Z4 Games, bringing you another budget profile from the brand new art types out of Ignition Assault. This time I'm bringing you Megalith, and this is the Megalith with Shino birds. Now, for those of you who don't know, Megaliths are a brand new ritual art type that actually support other ritual art types. So people are using this as an engine, or using other ritual decks as engines within this deck, and it allows you to basically use the monsters as ritual spells, and it also allows you to kind of ritual summon during your opponent's turn, depending on what Megalith you have on board. So without further ado, I'm going to take you through the profile. I have kept this massively budget. You can make this easily for like 30 quid or less, or 50 quid if you want to upgrade some of the cards as well. So, that being said, let's get into it. So, Megalith received a load of commons, 2 supers, and 1 rare out of the brand new set, so they're not incredibly hard to get hold of, and you should be able to get them off your friends very, very cheaply. So we start off with triple Megalith Ophelia. This one is the level 4 super. Really kind of cool card, gets everything going as well. So you can only ritual summon this card with a Megalith card. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 Megalith monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field, including this card, whose total level equal or exceeds the level of that ritual monster. You can only use the effect once per turn. So it's a nice little form of extension that lets us to search out a piece and then use itself as a ritual material and a ritual spell to go into the next monster up. The other super rare that we got was 2 Megalith Artron. This card is a boss, absolute beast. So it's a level 8, so it is trading fodder. You can only ritual summon this card with a Megalith card. And then during the main phase, quick effect, you can discard this card and ritual summon 1 Megalith ritual monster from your hand by treating monsters from your hand or field that total levels equal or exceeds that level. When your opponent activates a card or effect, negate a card or, that targets a card you control, quick effect, you can place 1 ritual monster from your graveyard onto the bottom of your deck, and if you do, negate the activation, and if you do that, destroy it. Only use each effect once per turn. We then play triple Megalith YUGIOH. Now this card again is really cool. Level 4, keeps everything going. This is the bread and butter of the deck. So again, ritual summon it with a Megalith card. If it's ritual summoned, you can draw 1 card, then discard 1 card. During the main phase, quick effect, you can activate this card's effect. Ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand by tributing 1 monster from your monsters from your hand or field, including this card, whose levels equal or exceed the level of that monster. So this is how you play the Shino birds during your opponent's turn, which shuffles 2 spells or 2 monsters, which is awesome. It's also how you get to use and abuse like Unicorn during your opponent's turn as well. Then we've got to the boss monsters. We've got double Megalith Pleek. Now this card, again, I did have it at 3, but I've cut it down to 2. So you can ritual summon this card, again, only using the Megalith card. Again, you can discard it to use it to ritual summon 1 Megalith ritual monster from your hand by treating monsters from your hand or field whose total level equals or exceeds. Only use each effect once per turn. And then once per turn, monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense to each ritual monster in your graveyard. So again, nice little beast. That is your boss monster of the deck because it is the strongest one in attack. We've then got 2 Megalith B4 or Bethel. Again, ritual summon with a Megalith card. If it's ritual summoned, ritual monsters by hand or tribute, blah, 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 blah. All the same stuff as usual. But then you get to target cards your opponent controls up to the number of ritual monsters with different names in your graveyard. Destroy them. Only use the effects once per turn. So if you're not going to Shino Bird shuffle, if your opponent's got no like destruction protection, you go with this guy. If they do, then you go with your Shino Birds. And then finish it off, we do have the 1 Megalith Gath. Again, ritual summon this with a Megalith. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 Megalith spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and you only play 1 of each, which is why we're only playing him at 1. Again, during your main phase, you can activate this effect, ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand, tributing monsters, including this one, and you can only use it each or once per turn. So, as you can see, the level 4s are, or the best level 4 is the YUGIOH by far. Such a good card, lets you ritual summon during your opponent's turn, and then the rest of them are just big beasters that let you go through your opponent and obviously disrupt them as well. 2 Shino Bird Peacock and 2 Shino Bedes Peacock as well. So 1 shuffles in 2 spells and traps, 1 shuffles in 2 monsters, and then they produce 2 tokens for you, and they spin themselves back. So there's a lot of recurrence as well, and using a ritual spell, you can ritual summon them from the graveyard. No ritual deck is complete nowadays without the incantation, so we play 2 Chalice Slime, 2 Candle, 2 Talismandala, 1 Pencil Vesta, I like calling it Pencil Vesta, and then 1 Bookstone. So again, all of these are just here to extend. The best thing about these, or on a bit of a more restriction, is you want the ones that reveal ritual monsters more, because you're going to be using your Megaliths as the ritual spells. So they don't treat themselves as ritual spells in hand, which means some of these do become dead. But the ritual spells you do search are mainly the Shino Bird and the Megalith Portal and the Incantation. So you only play 3 actual ritual spells, which is kind of good because you limitate your bricks. And the best thing with this is if you open up 5 monsters, as long as you've got a Megalith in there, you can actually use it to ritual summon, which is good. Then of course, Triple Manju, search anything you are missing. Like I said, most of these cards, or any of these cards, do not contain your normal summon. The only normal summon of your deck is Manju. So this one is always going to be live, and it searches you out whatever piece you are missing for your incantations, or it can search you out any of the ritual monsters that you may need to use their Megalith effects to either get them on board or use them to as tribute fodder should you need to. Then onto the spells, triple pre-prep. Now, because we play a limited amount of the ritual spells, pre-prep's second effect is less relevant, but it does allow you to add any level 7 or lower. Now, we do play a good handful of level 7s, but we also, level 7s and 8s, but we do also play a very, very good handful of lower levels as well. So very, very consistent, gives you additional draw power, and gives you recurrence from the graveyard as well. Then pre-prep of rights. Now, don't get this mixed up. The only reason you play this is for the Shino Birds, because the Shino Birds, both this ritual spell actually names the Shino Bird either Shino Baron or Shino Baroness. So it's very, very important. You want to get to them as quickly as you possibly can, because that is your form of disruption during your opponent's turn. If you have the ability to do both, it's even better. But the Shino Birds do allow you to put up a bit of defense by giving you the tokens, and then it also allows you to kind of storm through your opponent, because you can use the tokens as ritual fodder as well during your opponent's turn, or during your next turn should they survive, and it just gives you more fodder to use. Speaking of which, we play triple Shino Birds Calling. Again, ritual spell. The best thing about this is you can actually ritual spell from your graveyard as well. So trading is insane in this deck, which is why we do play it at 2. You can play it at 3 if you want. This is a 42 card deck at the moment. I'm trying to find more cards to cut. And if you put trading to 3, you've got all 4 of your Shino Birds. You really do not mind about trading in. But then the only issue is on the other Megaliths, they're all at 2. And you kind of want them in a hand. So you don't want to use them as consistent trading fodder, because they do treat themselves as a ritual spell as well. So you do have to be quite conservative with this card, but it does get you what you need and gives you additional draw power. The 1 Incantation Inception and the 1 Megalith Portal. So Megalith Portal, the first time each ritual monster is a field spell. So the first time each ritual monster you control would be destroyed by battle, each turn is not destroyed. If a Megalith monster is special summoned except during a damage step, you can target 1 ritual monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So again, it gives you a bit of recurrence. You can play Terraforming in here if you want to search it out, and you can play the Fairy Ritual spell, should you absolutely want to, or the Field spell, sorry, but we kind of want to minimise the amount that we're using on this. So, and then finally we play the 1 Megalith Emergence. It's an okay card. It allows you to special summon a Megalith monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, and then place it on the bottom of the deck if it leaves the field. So again, it allows you to recycle your deck a bit more. It's a lot specific because you do actually have to successfully ritual summon them. And then you also have the ability to recur them, but it does allow you 9 out of 10, because they're quick effects or during the main phase, you are just going to pop them to use as tribute fodder. And the best thing is it's continuous. It's just like having a continuous Call of the Haunted on your turn every turn, so or both turns actually. So it's very, very good. Gives you a bit of defensive play as well. You've just got to make sure that you have successfully ritual summoned them. Moving on to the extra deck, again, keeping with the budget fiend, we've got 2 Nephis, the Sacred Flame. Now, last time I checked, these were quite low. They were like 3-4 quid each. If they've gone up, then I do apologise. You can take these out. These are just a power play move. You don't have to play them. But right now, it's one of the best link monsters for ritual monsters. It requires 2 monsters, including a ritual monster. When this card in the extra monster zone, monsters your opponent controls cannot target it with card effects. I'm just going to bring it closer so I can read it exactly for you. Cannot target Nephis monsters, in the main monster zones for attacks. This card gains effects based on the number of ritual monsters used for its link summoned. 1, can't be destroyed by battle. 2, can't be destroyed by card effects, also it gains 1200. 3, neither player can target this card with card effects, also it gains an additional 1200. It becomes a 4800 beta. It is a link free, so the only reason you'd be doing this is if you've got, for example, the trap card, or you've got ways that you kind of want to just get the monsters off the board, extend into this as a big boss monster, and then move from there. We'll then play two. Oh, I might as well go through the links first. I might as well do it that way. We've got the Boral Load and the Cerberus alongside a Boral Sword. There we go. Boral Sword plus a Unicorn and a Nightmare Phoenix. There we go. So all your pretty much staple link monsters on that one. Most expensive for a Unicorn at about £6 to £7. And then the best part about this deck, it can be a beautiful ranked 4 spam deck. So you've got your Diagusto Emerald to kind of get back your resources when you need it. Your Time Thief Reader, because I love this in rank 4s right now. Tornado Dragon, Gaga Cowboy, Abyss Dweller, and then the best card, 2 Gallant Granite. The best thing about this is it gets you to add one rock monster from your deck to your hand. So if you want to, you can actually search out Nibiru. But it also gets you special summon 1 rock monster from your hand in face down defense position. That's not really relevant. It's just there as a 2300 beta that lets you search out any, and I mean any one of your Megalith monsters. They are all rock. It is BEA beautiful. You can search out any of these. Any of these. So Manju, plus this which is already searched, can search out another one and you've got 2 in hand. If one of those is a ritual spell, you're good to go. Now again, I'm not saying that this is the perfect way of playing it. This is a budget route to playing it. Very, very fun. Very, very powerful. I love this deck. It's so much fun to play around with. So I highly advise you pick these up if you can. Like I said, everything is cheap as possible. If you want to play the Necros version, you can do. There is no restrictions on that either. It just costs a little bit more money. Not a huge amount because they did all get their reprint. But regardless, it's still a great deck to have. Very, very nice introduction thanks to Ignition Assault. And I'm definitely going to be looking forward to playing this a little bit more at locals and possibly even taking it a little bit higher up the chain, because being able to Shino Bird during your opponent's turn is awesome. And it's not like there's so much disruption that can naturally happen, but it's going to be very, very hard for your opponent to be able to stop a ritual summon. And then once it happens, you're just leaving your opponent with no options whatsoever. So it's great. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's given you a couple of ideas on your own build. If you do have any questions, please put them down in the comments down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And we can kind of look into other options for Megaliths. But for now, I'm certainly looking forward to giving this more of a test run out as well. And I'm looking forward to Carl's Necro version as well. For now, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And as always, guys, happy dueling.